You're listening to the Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Welcome, Thanksgiving edition of the Raw Reaction. And with me tonight, Angry Pensai, is my main man, the turkey himself, Big Dick. Big Dick, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, my brother. Looking forward to some Thanksgiving eating.
Well, it's been a wild weekend of wrestling with, we got SmackDown Live Tuesday, we have Monday Night Raw in Toronto tonight, and we got the Survivor Series last night in Toronto, and then we have NXT Toronto on Saturday. It's been a very busy week.
The maple syrup loving Canucks certainly have had a great deal of great wrestling over the last couple of days.
Well, Raw was built on primarily starting off on where we left off at Survivor Series. And why is the wrestling industry buzzing? Why were we buzzing before we got off the air? Got on the air?
Hey, Tensai?
Yes.
Before we get started with this is all important, I actually have some tragic news. It's gonna touch near and dear to the heart, and I'd actually like to dedicate the show to tragic news and dedicate our program this evening to this terrible news.
Team Ivan?
No, more dramatic than Team Ivan. Rivolies, River.
Oh,
you heard?
I heard about this.
That's sad. 30 years, and it's been sold.
An incredible nationally known restaurant. It's all over.
Yeah, we're an institution. Absolutely.
So we will dedicate this to the Italian eatery from Tom's River fame, which could be seen in the Jersey Shore, talking about Rivolies. Wow, big news.
Yeah. So I want to dedicate this show to my man Tony Rivoli and his amazing YouTube channel.
You know what? Nothing can last forever.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm just getting choked here a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. America loves comebacks, and maybe one day Rivoli can come back just like Goldberg did. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm thinking.
And when I talk about Goldberg, I remember saying to you last week, there was no way Brock Lesnar would lose this match, and my heart wants Goldberg to win, but I just don't see how he could win it, and I hope I'm wrong. Boy, was I wrong. 86 seconds, not one offensive move for Brock Lesnar. Goldberg, push down, 2 spears and a jackhammer. Wow.
Well, actually, Lesnar did have one offensive move. He pushed Goldberg into the corner, only to be promptly thrown to the ground. So he had about 5 seconds of offense.
Somebody I know pointed out to me that Jerry Flynn of WCW's fame got in more offense in their match than Brock Lesnar did.
Wow, that's actually it's pretty sad. There's quite a few wrestlers who lasted longer than Lesnar.
I love this because you know what? Here's the thing. Regardless of the outcome of the match, 2 5'5" indie guys cannot create the environment that Goldberg and Lesnar. I mean, do you remember? I mean, that was on par with, like, some of the biggest matches WWE's ever had. The feel in the arena. Didn't you feel it before the match? Like,
yeah,
something was about to happen?
This wasn't like the first time that they matched up where they were both on their way out. They were both big sellouts, and the WWE Universe turned on them. Right now, the WWE Universe, they appreciate it for what it is. Lesnar wrestles half dozen times a year. Goldberg hasn't wrestled in about 10 years and is on the comeback trail. And this is, I think everybody knew that, hey, this is something where people who have been following wrestling for 15 years, they understand Goldberg and what it is. And they're not going to turn on it and boo him because this might be his last match or he's only there with WWE for a short time where he makes a shitload of money. So, yeah, I think this was, people appreciated this for what it was, and it was good to see.
Well, you think of the 3-year build of Brock and all the guys that have put him over, if you're one of these little kids in the audience, you don't think anyone can beat Brock Lesnar. And then this guy comes back from the past who seems pretty damn cool, calls himself an ass kicker, and boy, I mean, dude, that arena was shocked when Lesnar didn't even move from that jackhammer. I'm not sure I completely understand the booking here, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, Kev, you said you watched Survivor Series last night. What's your reaction to that coming into tonight's Raw?
You know, it's interesting. My first initial reaction was, wow, that's such bullshit for them to book it like that and disrespect the fans. But, you know, that was
my thought at first.
Yeah, that's my internal reaction. But look at the reaction of the crowd. They were legitimately shocked. And not shocked in a bad way. They got their socks blown off them. They were not expecting this. And you just look around the internet, look at the response on Twitter, Facebook, other social media outlets. Nobody was really expecting this, and they're happy with it. They are fucking pleased as punch with this. So, bravo to WWE for reading the landscape right.
I wouldn't even say they read it right. I said they forged their own path. I mean, if you had told me this was going to be the outcome on Saturday or last week or a Raw Reaction, I would have told you you're fucking smoking crack. And I wouldn't even thought it was a possibility. The one thing, or the two things that, or I got a couple things I want to say about this. Did you, I know you watched it, Kev, I know you watched it. Did you guys watch this as it took place? Or did you watch a replay later on?
I was watching it live.
I watched the replay later on.
All right. Now, Tenta, what time did the match start?
It was one of those off times again. So I didn't think, I know the match started like 10:15, so I assumed it was going to be a longer match. I knew it wouldn't go till 10:45.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure what time, because
They stopped doing that though, Vic. You called that. They've stopped doing that over the last 3 pay-per-views. They're ending at odd and off times now. I like that they're doing that.
Well, but what the problem is, I've done that, and like I was like an hour behind on watching a pay-per-view, and watching it as the replay, it had the amount of time left, and I didn't.
Oh.
It ruined it, because I'm like, okay, this is either fucked up or it's not. I don't know. It's just not. Something's not jiving. I saw there was literally 5 minutes left when the match is starting, and I'm like, oh shit, really? So that was, and I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought it was going to be like some sort of run-in or something fluky. But yeah, that's
No, I mean, I was expecting at least a 10-minute match. I was taken completely off guard. In fact, when the minute Lesnar got put up in that jackhammer, I was like, no way. And I knew once he put him down and he connected on it, I'm like, this match is going to end right here. I don't believe it. And it did. It was awesome. And
I thought it was like, it almost had, for me, it had shapes of, do you remember the infamous Sting Jeff Hardy match?
Yes, but this is not, we've never seen anything like this.
Oh, no. I mean, that was, and I'm thinking something like, Brock Lesnar like strolling on drugs or something. So I don't really know how that decision was made, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was almost like WWE was like coming away for fan reactions, like the minute that the pin took place.
Right, but well, I mean, the crowd obviously ate it up. I mean, the way Raw started tonight, the crowd was clearly behind Goldberg. They loved it, and Goldberg, he left right where he came off. He said, now that he's done with Brock Lesnar, he went backstage. A funny thing happened. Not only did Stephanie McMahon congratulate him amongst the boys backstage, but she said, you said you had one jackhammer left. You said that you had one spear left. Well, do you have one title run left? And he said, hell yeah, he does. Enters himself in the Royal Rumble after thanking his wife, his kids, the road back. He is going all in, pushing his chips into the table. He has entered the Royal Rumble. Will Goldberg win the Royal Rumble?
Yes.
I ain't betting against him.
You know what was really a couple criticisms of, I don't want to say the storyline, but two things I did not like. One was after his win over Lesnar, he brought his son into the ring. And his son was like 8 or 12 years old. Did you see this?
Yeah, they're all in on the son. WWE likes the son.
No, that's fine, but he literally brought his son into the ring with no shirt on. Did you know
that?
What's that?
What was wrong with that?
It was just weird. It was like an 8-year-old kid, and it's not like he was like. It was just weird that he had him take his shirt off before bringing him into the ring.
He wanted to show his physique.
He did not have a physique. He was 8 years old, and he did not have a physique for an 8-year-old.
Did you like it?
No, not a Jerry Sandusky type.
You're saying you have a problem with it, that he had his shirt off.
It was just weird, because, I mean, the kid, he definitely looked a little self-conscious when he was in the ring. And I'm just like, wow, it's like, that's interesting to have his son take his shirt off before coming in the ring.
No problem with the son having the shirt off in the ring? I think he did.
He definitely did. He would have said something if he didn't.
Well, Lesnar was not on Raw, but Goldberg certainly was. Enters himself in the Royal Rumble. I mean, somehow, the rumor is he'll be facing Brock Lesnar again. I don't necessarily know if I believe that. But, who's saying Lesnar can't somehow get the title before WrestleMania as well? So
he can get an Elimination Chamber or whatever the pay-per-view is in between.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird that everyone gets title matches like candy, and Goldberg has to go through the Royal Rumble. I mean, Goldberg easily could have said to Stephanie McMahon, "Hey, I just came off the biggest win over a guy who hasn't lost a match in 3 years. So bottom line is this: you want me to wrestle, then you put me in a title match. Period. I'm not going through the Royal Rumble. Like, why would he agree to that?"
Exactly. Another thing I didn't like during the promo, I loved the promo. The one thing I didn't like was he was saying that his wife was supportive of him, and like he was in a really bad mood, like while training and stuff. And he basically said something to the effect of, "Yeah, I've been training for this match for the last 8 weeks." And I'm like, really? It's like you couldn't say like last 15 years or 12 years since you left WWE.
No, I like it because Goldberg didn't look absolutely like a powerhouse. He still looked great, but it goes to show you though that if he puts more time in, he could probably get back to a very similar look that he had during his WCW run. So, definitely, Goldberg might be an absolute monster, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that. And one of the things that I've read a couple of things like, hey, what's the reason for this? One of them, they didn't think that he was in wrestling shape to put on a 10, 15-minute match. Because I think he, along with only training for a couple months, because his program was pretty rushed, apparently he tweaked himself somehow during the segment on Raw with one of the jobber security guards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think he had even said that he tweaked himself on it. So, one of those guys. So that was sort of my process between just possibly just getting gas, not having a lot of lead-up time, and then the second thing was he wasn't in the greatest shape in the world.
The thing is, I love Goldberg. I love that era of wrestling. Those guys are my favorites. The one thing I don't get, though, is all these guys have built up Brock, and Goldberg basically pisses on all those guys now. I mean, it's pretty interesting.
You know what? But the thing is, Goldberg is going to be like Lesnar, and it sort of it's good because, and I read an article about this, and I think I agree with it. Goldberg's going to take the heat off because ultimately somebody was going to have to take Brock Lesnar down. The path was going to need to be, or the torch was going to need to be passed at some point.
Wouldn't you do it to somebody, though, that's going to be around for a long time?
Yeah, but the problem is, you give it to, you have Seth Rollins to beat him. Now Seth Rollins is the incredible world beater who can't lose a match or his credibility's dead. And it doesn't make sense to pass it along to somebody who you want to see, or who's not necessarily, quote unquote, invincible. Therefore, by allowing Goldberg to do this, they have Goldberg, who is now the invincible person, and he can walk away. He's going to walk away in 6 months.
Yeah, I thought Saturday night with Shinsuke Nakamura, he's been undefeated in NXT, and I thought they did a good job with Samoa Joe beating him, and both guys looked strong in the process. You don't want these like crazy streaks to go on because it does create a scenario where the expectation is the person's never going to lose, and it does hurt them when they do. What I do like about this match, and I actually thought of two things. I know we're supposed to talk about Raw, but this is really a major piece of Raw. I thought WWE wanted to do that MMA piece where, like, you look at Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo, where McGregor knocked Aldo out in like 10 seconds, and Aldo is up until his retirement, was a major player. And maybe, just maybe, because Brock Lesnar's coming back and he's going to kick ass, right? Maybe, just maybe, CM Punk is coming back, and they want to show that, like, anyone can get knocked out on any given day and dominated on any day. I don't know. I mean, there's WWE, I give them credit. There's probably a bigger plan here.
Yeah, no, definitely. This definitely went off better. And again, like I said, I hated it when I saw it because I didn't know what to expect next. I saw after Monday Night Raw, and
I watched Goldberg came out, Vic. I was sick to my stomach, knowing I was about to watch Goldberg get destroyed and possibly hurt by Lesnar, and it really pissed me off knowing that one of the coolest parts of my youth, maybe one of the last things we'll see of my youth, was about to get destroyed. Like, really, I was really pissed about it, to be honest with you. So I'm watching my man walk down to the ring, and I'm like, he's gonna get destroyed. I mean, and I know Brock's not gonna mean to do it, but he's gonna break this guy's back. Like, you know what I mean? So I was really pissed about that as I'm watching him walk down to the ring. And then it happened. For one night, anyone can recapture that magic. For one night, any old champion can be great for one more night. And that's what happened, man. That was old school Goldberg, man. And all these new fans of today, they need to understand how special that run was. That NWO being brought down by Goldberg, DDP, and Sting. Like, I mean, that was amazing. Like, Sting was made to look like a fool in WWE. Goldberg, not at all, man. Wow. What a job by Goldberg. The two best things on WWE TV right now are Goldberg and the Brian Kendrick. And it goes to show you.
I say Chris Jericho is also great.
He is too. Jericho in the list? Are you kidding me? This is some of Jericho's best stuff, going back to the WCW Cruiserweight days. It is pretty interesting that, in my opinion, and I think you're dead on, the three best things on TV are Jericho. I mean, I would even put Styles up there as for the physicalness, for the actual matches. It just shows you don't have, like, I hate that idea of, well, they're already established. You don't want to put a title on them, or they can't be champion. Like, screw that, dude. Who decides this stuff? Really, who decides that? Like, dude, if you want to put the title on Lesnar for 3 years, you do it. It's your promotion. You don't have to, like, people aren't going to stop watching. Like, imagine Lesnar had the Raw brand champion for like 2 years, and he walked into that match and got beat. Beat that way?
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome, man.
No, it was cool. It was cool. But, yeah, the Brian Kendrick, I like him. He's definitely the best cruiserweight. He's just not getting the reaction that is going to keep the cruiserweight division.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's the one guy the fans react to. And you tell me that match at Survivor Series where he put the captain's hook on Kalisto out of a reversal off the top rope. That's one of the coolest moves I've ever seen.
That was freaking. It was a great match.
I thought Kalisto was dead, by the way, at that point. I thought Kalisto was dead. And then and that shows you how weak the cruiserweight division is. And I'm very scared for Live 205 because I'll tell you what's going to happen. SmackDown is 2 hours. Live 205 comes on after, and then the SmackDown Live show, which is essentially like the Bryan Daniel show, or Daniel Bryan show, comes on after now. And WWE has a lot invested in that match. If they don't attract viewers with Live 205 or 205 Live, that show will be cut quick if there's viewers lost to SmackDown Live. The after show.
Yeah, 100%.
Mark my words. And then what did they show us tonight? Cedric Alexander. Who did he take on?
T.J. Perkins and a guy.
No, confusing. You're confusing those guys. I don't even remember who it was. Was it Tony Nese or Drew Gulak or Orny Larkin? I don't even remember. Cedric Alexander won his match. And then they had a three-way later in the night. Rich Swann, T.J. Perkins versus Noam Dar, and Rich Swann won that match.
No, it wasn't Dar. It was some guy from a guy from Europe last week that Kendrick beat the shit out.
That's what I said. Noam Dar.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
Okay.
And Dar and Perkins put on a good match, but ultimately Rich Swann won. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of these guys have any personalities. I think Kendrick's the only guy that's standing out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's definitely struggling for the personalities because they don't really have a lot of time to develop. Maybe giving them an hour show, they're going to have the opportunity to develop.
So, speaking of titles and things going on, so New Day is coming up on their world title 23 days away from being the all-time tag champion, longest reign, and not making a joke, they brought up Demolition and talked about them quite a bit. Well, you wouldn't do that for no reason, and I am reading lots of things on the internet that Demolition may be back on WWE TV, and they're old, they're in their 60s. But one step further, that our guys, Gallows and Anderson, who've been known to take to the paint in New Japan Wrestling, may dress up as Demolition to take on the New Day. What would you think of that?
You know what? I think I think New Day should have looked back on WWE Network about a year and a half ago when we had this up and coming awesome tag team. You used to jerk these guys off all the time in NXT. Ascension. They promptly came out, gave their "we're better than Demolition" promos, and promptly are working Saturday Morning Superstars in the pre-show. So I don't know what to expect there. I think they'd probably have to make the best Demolition type team as a replacement, but I think those guys have been damaged. What do you think about having what the hell is his name? The face or the new the two guys with Paul Ellering. Is the face of fear or new face of fear or something like that?
Oh, you mean the Fat Brothers, Authors of Pain.
That's it. Yeah. I would actually, that would be something that would be pretty cool to have them come out as the, if somebody's going to come out like Demolition, I think that those guys, they have the credibility. They're not really, they're pretty well known. They're a pretty solid tag team. I like them.
Our own Killer Kev is the third Author of Pain. I don't know if you knew that.
He advises Paul Ellering.
Who, Killer Kev? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's sort of what I assume. I was a little surprised that there weren't any, especially after watching the NXT. I'm surprised there weren't any call-ups.
The what?
I'm surprised there weren't any call-ups from NXT going into Monday Night Raw. I thought there might be a run-in at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, a lot of people thought Ty Dillinger was moving up, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. I don't understand how they can't have Bob Roode, Austin Aries, and the Authors of Pain move up right away.
Well, I don't know. I don't think those guys are ready, that being the Authors of Pain, but DIY and the Revival certainly look like they were ready. That was the best tag team match I've seen in maybe 20 years.
Yeah, no, that was a solid match. You know what I would have liked to have seen somehow happen? I'd rather see all of the tag teams on Raw, and then let SmackDown get the because the team division on Raw, it's just not all that inspiring at all. Or I'm sorry, on SmackDown, it is just not an inspiring thing to watch. I mean, I think the best tag team or future best tag team is obviously American Alpha, but other than that, I mean, the Hype Bros, Lane.
Oh God, no.
Who else? I'm trying to think who else is out there. Who else is on the team? The Rhino and Slater. Rhino freaking looks like he's like 50 years old and well past his prime. So you'll agree. I'm trying to think who else was even on the team.
I don't know.
Usos. Now they're no longer fat cruiserweights. They are gangsters now.
Let me tell you something. The Usos look good. They looked good in that Survivor Series match. That's the best I've seen them look in a long time. I was shocked because I really haven't seen much out of them in a long time, but they looked outstanding in that match. I was like, I had to remind myself that was actually the Usos in the Survivor Series match.
They look sort of silly compared to what they looked like before, like the way they dressed before face paint and stuff. I like the new angle, but it just doesn't. It's almost like tight stonewashed jeans was the one guy had on. It wasn't exactly the most fashionably sensible. And it's something like where you look at, like, what's his name, Dean Ambrose wrestling with jeans.
Do you think the demos will come out?
Do you think the what?
The demos will come out. Demolition. Seriously. Dead serious.
I don't know. I mean, they're pretty old. I don't think so. I think
on the map, but would they come out for like a run-in?
Maybe. Well, who managed did El Ring manage Demolition?
No. I would love, their manager won't be coming out, but I would have loved it. Master Fuji.
What's that?
The late Master Fuji.
Oh, okay.
Master Fuji was the greatest. I loved Fuji.
He was pretty good. You know what I'm noticing? There's really no tight-knit stables right now at all. I mean, there's the Wyatts, and with Randy Orton, which I'm still not believing. I feel like this is the time when this is similar to Cena having to join the Nexus or Daniel Bryan joining the Wyatts for like a week. I feel like this is something similar. It's eventually going to just be a turn, and he's going to start fighting against Bray again.
It sure looks that way.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like a cohesive stable. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Samoa Joe, Austin Aries, James Storm come out as a stable.
I think that'd be cool. Like, they have a reason to kind of band together, you know?
I mean, they're like the four big guys from TNA who are over here. I think they might even be the only four. But I mean, they come out as a stable, and it doesn't have to be like the Shield or NWO. You can come up with your own stable, but have it be a solid stable and not like the social outcast.
Call them the Dixiecrats.
What is that? Oh, I get it. Huh.
I know. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Bad pun.
Do you think Demolition could come out, Kev?
Nah, I don't see him being there.
They were basically called out. You know, that kind of surprised me. They were called out.
This definitely smells like a freaking heel turn now for New Day.
Regardless, they called out the demos. You don't call out the Demolition, man. You just don't do it. I'm just saying. I think that's a gutsy move by them to call out the demos. Those are my guys, man.
Hey, there could be a method to the madness. I don't know what it is.
Well, we'll see. I don't know about Luke Gallows and Anderson wearing Demolition gear either. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would just be a cheap knockoff. But yeah, I think the SmackDown pay-per-view tag team weren't that good at all. Well,
listen, man. There's some great stuff forthcoming with the Goldberg and friends.
Hey, I get a trade for you. I'll trade you. WWE can trade all tag teams to the Monday Night Raw division, and SmackDown will receive the Cruiserweight division for their 2-hour soccer.
Dude,
2-hour.
I wouldn't give James Ellsworth the Cruiserweight division.
What is his story? Because he's a freaking. I just don't get it. I mean, I almost feel like I almost feel like he's a Make-A-Wish grown-up.
Oh, dude, don't say that.
No, but I'm serious. Like, what? He has no discernible talent, and they're putting him out there. I mean, it's not like he was like the Brooklyn Brawler, or any like the 1-2-3 kid or anything. He has zero charismatics about him, and it's just out there.
I don't know, man. I think it's just a rib. That's gone way too far.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he may have nude pictures of
You know what? Maybe in the Northeast it's not funny, but you know, like some of these shit kickers down south, they might find Ellsworth funny.
He may have pictures of Triple H having an affair or something. Which is
I was waiting for Kevin to jump on me for that one, but we can't get it. We can't get his goat.
Hey, Kev's not a Southerner. He's from Kentucky.
Kentucky South, man. Are you kidding me?
They already SEC, so I guess
Tenarchy.
That could be the rule. But they're the far north SEC team, I think.
Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky. Tenarchy. Never forget that.
Nope. But dude, how awesome was Jericho and what's his name's promo? Owens promo.
One of the best. And, you know,
love
they caught me off guard in that segment for sure because I thought they were, you know, obviously with Owens getting disqualified and knocking the list all over the ring, Owens immediately cuts off Jericho because Jericho said he's going to reveal who's at fault for losing the match for Team Raw. Owens was super defensive, immediately came out and said, I'm your best friend, I was taking care of you, I was trying to help you, you know, and you had an opportunity, and because you were going after that stupid list, you know, you basically risked, you know, I got wasted for nothing, and Jericho just went off to say, like, Kevin's never there when he needs him outside of this one time, and, you know, it looked like anything Owens said, which he made some really good points, Jericho would just refute it, and obviously was super distrusting. And then Jericho said, I'm just going to end this right here. And it looked like they were about to go fisticuffs. And Owens said, or Jericho said, I'm going to tell you guys who's to blame for the loss for Team Raw. And at this very same time, Owens and Jericho said, Roman Reigns, and hugged. The place went freaking crazy. That was awesome. It was awesome. They ribbed everybody. Poor Roman. And, you know, if you didn't see this, go Google it, YouTube it, do whatever you gotta do. It was awesome. It was awesome. So you think? Uh-oh. Did we get the other KO? I think we have a KO. Oh no. Kevin. Oh, Kevin.
What are we gonna do?
We have the knockout.
He hasn't done this in weeks.
Months.
But it is pretty late, you have to admit.
I almost did this before we came on the air. I fought it.
I actually did take a nap before we went on the air.
When you and I think people would probably enjoy this question by me. When you and Goff were doing the show back in the day, you guys had a long run, and you know you guys were younger guys, certainly younger than you are now. I mean, do you think that age has just caught up to be a big dick? 'Cause I mean, I know when I first met you guys, I had no problem staying up listening to the show and calling in, and I certainly do now. Is it age?
Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for us to hang it up and turn it over to some younger kids.
Could it be? I mean, did this happen to Frank Vaughn? Because I remember when Frank Vaughn reached like 36, 37, he started breaking down himself. He was great, by the way. I loved him. But did that happen to him?
Well, yeah, I mean, he got older, he had more responsibilities, he's got a new wife, he's got new kids now, and, he definitely can't hang at this hour anymore.
I would argue that when we had Frank Vaughn on Tuesday nights, we had Ciara on almost every show. I mean, we had a good lineup back then, didn't we?
We did. We still do.
No, I know we still do. I'm saying that was some grassroots shit though. We got some great talents from other networks and stuff now. And we got some really great people, but back then it was just kind of the people that were in the community that would go into the chat when we had that, and it was pretty cool. It was cool. It was fun those days.
It was.
Jeff and so many different people. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
So is it time for us to talk about retirement?
Who knows? Maybe we're like Goldberg, Brad, but maybe it's like they're like Big Dick, Ted Tie, Kev, do you guys have one last raw reaction in you? We do, but it's only gonna go 86 seconds because Big Dick's gonna fall asleep.
Or one of us are gonna fall asleep, that's for sure. Goodness gracious.
For sure. Well, the only other thing that happened tonight that's worth noting was the kickoff of the Bayley Charlotte feud. Well, title path, and then I would say the Nia Jax Sasha Banks feud, because Nia Jax just thinks Sasha Banks is overrated. All that's well and good, but I gotta ask you, Kev, you watch Raw. How do you feel about Nia Jax tapping out to Becky Lynch's finisher rather clean?
No, I didn't watch Raw.
No, that was on Survivor Series.
Or was it on Survivor Series? Okay.
Yeah, in the middle of the match.
Oh, that's right.
I was shocked by that.
I was a little shocked by it. I thought it was kind of weak a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Nia Jax absolutely needs to be treated like a monster.
Yep.
You gotta find monster ways to defeat her, but now it's too late.
Yeah, that was bad. You can't unsee that, and I don't really understand why they did that. Like Strowman, I knew they were going to do something bullshit to get him out of the Survivor Series, and that was great. Ellsworth holding his leg under the ring.
Yeah, that was great. But if you're going to beat Nia Jax like with an armbar like Becky Lynch did, you got to beat up that arm, and you got to beat it up pretty bad. You got to whip her into like the ring post like a dozen times, or take a chair to it or something.
I felt like WWE had I'll say 4 unbeatable assets coming into I'll take that back. 5 unbeatable assets coming into this weekend. Brock Lesnar, Nia Jax, Strowman, Asuka, Nakamura. I actually like that Nakamura took this loss. I don't want him to be unbeatable. He's going to be WWE's top guy anyway, but I don't think he should be booked to be this unbeatable monster, right? I think that was a good loss for him.
I agree. I agree. Good loss for him.
Yeah, totally. And you don't want him to parallel on the exact same storyline as Asuka either, which they were starting to do. And that can kind of stifle the show. I was surprised Mickie James, and maybe it's just she didn't have the talent to wrestle with when she was in WWE. Like I don't mean her talent. I meant the people she was lined up against. I don't remember her being that good. That was one of the best women's. I hate to say this, she carried Asuka in that match. I couldn't believe it.
I don't think she carried Asuka. Actually, the funny thing is, me watching it, kind of one of the things I said to myself is, wow, Mickie has actually finally started to lose a step. Not very noticeable, but I could just tell that, she is definitely a veteran. But the life on the road and her conditioning, it's not as good as it used to be. I'm not saying it's bad at all. I could just tell though, it was a little bit harder than what it used to be. But I'm trying to think of how best to compare it to. Damn it, an NFL player. I can see him in my head. Herschel Walker.
Okay.
It's kind of that level. You could tell, today, that, Herschel Walker wouldn't, if he tried to come back and play football, you could tell he wouldn't be what he used to be, but goddamn, he's still a beast.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt that way watching Mickey as well. I'm actually disappointed they didn't go ahead and put the title on her, because what do they do with Asuka now? She is clean. I mean, they even said so on the pay-per-views that Asuka's cleaned out the division.
She can go to the main roster and do the same thing.
That's what she needed to do, and that's why Mickie James, I think, needed to win. I think
Asuka's going to do a page and bring the title up with her, and they'll drop it.
But then there's so many women right now in NXT who really aren't ready to carry a title.
Well, maybe Mickie will win a tournament for it.
Well, see, that's why I think it would have made sense for Mickie James to get the upset win over Asuka.
Here's my question. So I've been watching the Brian Kendrick and Mickie James over the last couple weeks. Or not Mickie James, but Mickie James this weekend, and the Brian Kendrick. And I just cannot believe that the Brian Kendrick clearly has been at this level and could have performed this way over the last 5 years. And all these losers have been put on WWE TV. Guys like Chris Masters, guys like Curtis Axel, guys like David Otunga. I mean, the list goes on and on. And right now in WWE, I see Alicia Fox. I see Carmella. I see these weak people. Why does Mickie James and Brian Kendrick not really have well, Kendrick does now, but how are they not on the roster to begin with, knowing all that?
Politics. That's exactly why. It's backstage politics. Mickie James left WWE because of bad backstage politics. Brian Kendrick left because he got tired of dealing with the political bullshit back there. He went on, forged his own career. You've seen what Mickie James has done.
I don't think it's over yet, because I got to tell you something. There's still a lot of bad shit going on in WWE, and I'll tell you why I think that. So Seth Rollins had a world title shot against Kevin Owens tonight, and Kevin Owens retained, and it's not a big surprise because it was kind of hot shot in this match. But one of the rules was Jericho or Reigns couldn't be at ringside. Okay. Jericho in a rib, and we should drop Vic's line, by the way, but in a rib, Jericho, not really a rib, but Jericho masked himself at ringside in a Sin Cara mask. We all know what happened with Sin Cara and Jericho that actually got into a real fight on a WWE bus. Now I see Kenny on SmackDown, Kenny of the male cheerleaders, the Spirit Squad.
Right.
And I see James. WWE is going to play games and have fun with people, and I think that's sick and wrong.
No, they're not going to do that, because the politics that affected Brian Kendrick and Mickie James isn't there now. Those players that were backstage then, they're not with WWE now. So
then why is Chris Jericho out there in a Sin Cara mask?
Because that's different politics with different people and different bullshit. The politics is always going to be there, especially in an organization like WWE, and
Sin Cara's in a lot of trouble, because that sent a message last night to me.
You know what? I don't think Sin Cara really gives a shit. He goes out there, he does his job, he gets paid good money, he's fine.
I guess we shouldn't even be calling him Sin Cara. He's Hunico, but
yeah, Hunico.
Sin Cara is in Mexico somewhere being mysterious or whatever his name is, but I don't know. But the one thing I'll say about Mickie that I thought was interesting, I noticed to your point, but I thought she was great, and I thought she actually carried that match. But I could see for the first time Mickey's face. Mickie looks a little worn. She looks like she's getting a little older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I used to think she was like the prettiest of all the divas, but she showed her age for the first time in a long time.
She did, and I don't mind that. Because she's been, you gotta think, she's been doing this for like 15 years now.
But if I'm the WWE, let's just talk about, you got two people standing on the wall and you can pick the one you want. And you're building a promotion. Why is Alicia Fox on your roster and Mickie James is not? I don't understand.
No.
I think Mickie James eventually I think they bring her back on. She's got some obligations outside of WWE to kind of tie up, but I think they make her an offer, And I think part of the reason is, and I've heard the rumor and I don't have any confirmation of it yet. I think they're going to put her in the Hall of Fame this year.
Really?
Wow.
Why the Hall of Fame?
She deserves it. She's a 6-time champion.
Yeah, but why? I mean, you don't have any. You didn't put Sting in, and he was. Did we put him in this year?
Sting's in.
Okay.
Yeah, he went in this year.
No real. It's not like TNA where there's really precedence for somebody in. It's still wrestling. It's like people have had their time away from wrestling a little bit. Like they have like a year or two away before at least.
Well, I mean, you really got to think though. Mickie James, she's married now. She's got one kid. She may be looking forward to more.
I'd give her more kids. I would be happy to give her more kids.
I don't think Magnus would like that.
I don't know. Magnus seems like a pretty level-headed guy. I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
Magnus. Well, guys, we're wrapping this one up. I think we covered everything, but good show. Big Dick, thank you for entertaining us falling asleep on the air. We appreciate that.
Wow, right?
But that's everything, man.